Choose life and live. Buy original. Be original. SON.
We are committed to the growth of Nigeria's industrial sector. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Bolma Esquire, assures local manufacturers as the agency continues its cleanup exercise to rid the nation of substandard and fake products. Seals several warehouses and retail outlets stocked with lubricants suspected to be substandard and fake. Welcome to Standard and You, Africa's authoritative television program, where you get to know more about product safety and quality. It is an initiative of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, brought to you every Monday at this time on this station. On behalf of the Director General of the SON, management and staff, I welcome you to this week's edition of Standard and You. As you sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. My name is Ifoma Okonkwo.
Wow, Chief Mike, how are you?
Fine.
I'm going to Sun office for the certification of my wheat flour.
Oh no, things have changed. Sun has simplified all its activities. You could have even stayed back in Kano and process all your papers online. Whoa.
With the efforts of Sun, the products of SMEs can now compete globally. Sun has put in place necessary machineries in support of the growth of SMEs. At highly subsidized charges, SMEs can now get their certification, laboratory testing of their products, as well as purchase of standards. Meanwhile, Sun is carrying out massive seizure of substandard goods in the market and have gotten legal backing to prosecute offenders, all to protect consumers and SMEs. Sun, improving life through standards.
About 2 weeks ago, the Standards Organization of Nigeria embarked on a special raid that took officials of the agency to various locations across the country. From one warehouse to another, men and women of the SON inspected samples of steel bars to ascertain the quality of this all-important building material. It was observed that some of the companies produced standard steel bars. Most of the products that failed the parameter test conducted by the agency were those imported into the country. In Owerri, for instance, substandard steel bars with a street value of over 500 million naira were impounded by officials of the SON. This meeting with some manufacturers of steel bars and other relevant stakeholders in the industry at the instance of the SON is to convey government's commitment, quality assurance, and strict adherence to Nigerian industrial standards. Director General of the SON, Osita Boloma, frowned at the development which he described as a threat to the building and construction industry. He advised operators to be quality conscious and avoid unethical practices capable of destroying their businesses.
There were a lot of complaints from consumers, from stakeholders, and even security agencies of the negative effect of the steel materials, the steel items that are in the market. You know, at least, particularly within this rainy season, where you have the incident of building collapse, what readily comes to mind is the quality of steel. And the next question people will ask is, what is SON doing about it? Before we start blaming poor workmanship and lack of building code, let us ask a formidable stakeholder, look within ourselves and put our houses in order and produce something that we can defend both within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. So what we ask you to do is to produce the minimum standards. There's no maximum. If you can afford to sell your product at a higher rate, go ahead and do that. It's a free market. But once it falls below the minimum, the national standards, it becomes life-threatening, it becomes an endangerment to lives. If it does not worry you people, it gives us, as your regulators, serious cause for concern.
Aboloma stated clearly that the SON will not tolerate any act to undermine the right of consumers to quality goods and therefore will not hesitate to sanction any erring company in line with the provisions of the laws of the land.
Out of 25 products that we've tested so far, 2 of them are mysterious. They cannot be traced. So if there's no traceability, there's no guarantee for quality. About 3 of them, actually, could not be traced. And they are in the market, and they are in major construction sites. We investigate and get to the root of it. Wherever we stop, we'll seek the assistance of other sister agencies. We encourage you when you're doing the right thing as regulators, and we'll make you appreciate the gravity of non-conformity.
Some operators praised efforts by the SON to ensure strict monitoring of the industry, adding that they will work with the SON to ensure compliance with the relevant standards, especially as it affects imported steel bars.
We have listened to the DG, and we actually appreciate the this type of meeting, whereby we sit down together and he showed us the scorecards and the areas that we have to improve. And I will promise on behalf of my members, that the steel group, that we are going to improve and actually ensure that standard products are there in the market all the time.
Although the Standards Organization of Nigeria has recorded significant progress in sanitizing the electric cable industry, manufacturers of cable under the auspices of Cable Manufacturers Association of Nigeria want the SON to do more. They were particularly impressed at the seriousness with which the SON has continued to handle issues of substandard and fake electric cables. They explained that they watched with keen interest the passion expressed by the Director General to rid the markets of substandard electric cables. The association pledged its unflinching support to the SON to tackle the menace in the overall interest of all.
We see SON not as a regulator, as you are, because we see you more as a partner, because without SON, without a standard, we could not be good, because without a standard, there is no quality to be measured to. So our working is absolutely in connection with what SON is doing, and we collaborate in all areas. We see the visits from SON in our factories as a positive thing, because it helps to maintain a standard.
Director General of the SON, Osita Aboloma Esquire, commended the cable manufacturers for their commitment to excellence, hard work, and penchant for quality, which he said has made Nigeria's electric cable a preferred choice by consumers. The SON's chief executive urged the association to put in place measures that will encourage self-regulation to flush out the few bad eggs amongst them. He assured Carmen of SON's continued support to protect their business from the activities of unscrupulous importers of electric cables into Nigeria.
The Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Aboloma Esquire, has assured local manufacturers of the SON's continued support to grow the industrial sector in the overall interest of the nation's economy. Aboloma stated this when the agency signed a memorandum of understanding with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria in Lagos. Standard and you was there.
Over the years, members of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria have enjoyed tremendous support from the Standards Organization of Nigeria. This signature ceremony between the SON and the association is to further deepen that existing mutual collaboration between MAN and the SON to promote Nigeria's industrial economic development. The MOU is a milestone, one with immense benefits to the manufacturers, especially small and medium enterprises, SMEs, considered to be the engine of growth of the economy. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Aboloma, said the MOU covers operations of the mandatory conformity assessment program for the certification of all locally manufactured products and the offshore conformity assessment program, SONCAP, for imported products.
It's a milestone in our collective effort to create an enabling environment for the ease of doing business. So we want to encourage them, to prepare them to face the challenges that comes with manufacturing within Nigeria and export of products beyond the shores of Nigeria, particularly now that the continental free trade is staring at us. So what we've come to do with them is to look into their processes as business facilitators in order to key into the rapid industrialization of Nigeria as required by the economic growth plan of the federal government. This particular agreement is with special emphasis to the micro and small medium scale enterprises. That is now the government direction. It's now a way of deviating from the mono product of oil into massive industrialization at all levels. And we also spelled it out to them that concession is different from criminality. If you take advantage of the concession and import substandard products, and even import or aid dumping of substandard products within Nigeria, they will no longer be sheltered under the concession given to man. Our special focus now is on the fight against life-threatening goods. Goods that are dangerous to health of Nigerians, and goods that are hazardous in nature, both to human beings and the environment. So let them work with us as partners to make sure that they grow so that people get value for their money and the proper vanguards of quality in Nigeria. And they will I also employ them to imbibe self-regulatory mechanisms to check their members, for people to have confidence in what they produce, and for them to be able to produce things that will be suitable and acceptable for exports.
For members of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the MOU is commendable and a good step in the right direction. Director General of the association described the SON as a responsive government agency committed to the growth of manufacturers, especially micro, small, and medium enterprises.
Relationship between man and son is deep, and this one goes further to cement that relationship in such a way that our members are guided by the agreements that we have enshrined in it. And SON on its own is also committed to fulfilling its own part of the agreement. So today is a good day for manufacturing. It demonstrates that SON is actually there to facilitate business, even though they are regulating us. You are aware that man had in the past expressed concern over regulation and how our members' businesses have been negatively impacted by the activities of agencies of government that are supposed to regulate and facilitate business. So SON has taken leadership in demonstrating that the ease of doing business is real, and we encourage other agencies of government to follow suit such that all of us will be able to contribute to the overall development of our economy and our country. In this era of AFCFTA, it is important that we work together as a team, government and the private sector, and I think this is a commendable demonstration of that objective.
You're watching Standard and You, and thanks so much for being there. Stop producing and importing substandard lubricants into the country or risk sanctions by the Standards Organization of Nigeria. Head of the SON in Kano, Yunusa Mohammed, gave this advice when the SON seized several drums of lubricants suspected to be substandard. the report.
In the last 2 months, officials of the SON embarked on a strategic cleanup of the markets with special focus on life-endangering products. A lot of seizure comprising various products have been made at different locations such as Imo, Delta, Lagos, Abuja and Ogun states. This raid in Kano is the latest of such exercise that took officials of the SON to many retail outlets and warehouses in the state. It was a well-planned exercise that caught dealers and owners of retail outlets in Kano by surprise, as officials of the SON come to the 3 locations earmarked for the raid. A total of 1,513 drums of base oil were seized from dealers on AP Road by Independence Road, Naibawa by Motor Park, and Kofarowa by Katsina Road, all in Kano State. The SON state coordinator told newsmen that he was particularly worried that some unscrupulous businessmen have chosen to sell base oil to innocent consumers, knowing that such oil is without the necessary additives to make it a standard product. The agency, he stressed, is poised to take such products off the shelves across the country to protect consumers and also give them value for their money.
It's not illegal to trade, but it must be, and this kind of trade is a controlled trade. The raw material must be controlled. It must be used by a manufacturer or a blender. And that is why we felt that we need to find out why are they selling it, who are they selling it to, who is using it.
Mohammed warned dealers of base oil and other substandard products in the state to desist from the sale of such products or risk sanctions by the SON. He disclosed that the agency is committed to promoting standards and will always support activities in that regard from stakeholders. YB Mohammed urged importers to be quality conscious and import goods of acceptable standard. The search for and evacuation of substandard products in our markets continues. In Ogun State, the agency seized substandard electric cables at different locations in the state. According to the state head, Ogun State Office 2, Engineer Onipede Olarinwaju, most of the seized electric cables were not registered with the SON apart from being confirmed to be substandard.
Now, we have more of the product we have around here. There's multi-core cables. Most of the single cores are within. They sell most of Nigerian cables for the single core. But most of the ones we're able to gather today, they are more of the multi-core.
Officials of the SON visited more than 10 outlets in Ota and Shagamu, Ogun State. It was observed that most of the electrical cables on display were without basic information such as manufacturer's name, size, voltage capacity, trademark and date, and place of manufacture.
We went around different shops where these products are being traded, and it is amazing what we saw. For example, let me have one of the cable, this Coleman. You could say that generally made in Nigerian cables are the best all over the world. It is accepted. So because of that, people import cables and use the labels of Nigerian cables to deceive unsuspecting Nigerians. For example, you can see this. This is an imported cable. On the body of the cable, it is written G mark. But they use this wrapper of Coleman. You can see the wrapper. This is Coleman wrapper to wrap it. So if somebody goes to the market and say he wants to buy Coleman product, they will just bring this and give it to the person, not knowing that the actual product is not Coleman. So this is just one of them. We have another one again. This is Kentrack. If you look at here, you will see Kentrack Smart. That's the name of the cable here. But if you look at the wrapper here, you see PureChem. And PureChem is just an industry that is not far from where we are here now. Very good company. So they will use this to deceive Nigerians, because everybody wants a good cable. And good cable cannot be far from made in Nigerian cable. So they use the labels to deceive Nigerians to go into buying what they did not actually bargain for. So you could see a lot of samples that we seized from the companies. We had to bring them out this evening so that we will select them and send them to our lab for further analysis.
The seized cables have since been evacuated to the SON's warehouse for further analysis.
Two persons have been remanded in prison custody for allegedly dealing on substandard electric cables. They are Chukwuwodo and Abochukwu. The two men were charged to court for breaking into a warehouse sealed by the Standards Organization of Nigeria in Alaba Market. Both men were arrested on the 21st of August 2019 at a warehouse in Alaba, destroying the seal of the SON stocked with substandard electric cables. The case has been adjourned to the 24th of October 2019.
The effort of the Standard Organization of Nigeria in getting rid of substandard products, some people are trying to thwart the effort. So in their warehouse, we discovered some substandard products, and those warehouses were sealed with the SON seal, which is a federal government property. The defendant went back and unsealed, the property. They destroyed the seal with welding equipment and carted away the products, which is contrary to the law of the land. They shouldn't have done that. Once the SON has sealed a premises, if you have any reservation about the sealing, you need to go to the office, or you can even go to court, but not to go and take law into your own hand by unsealing the premises, cutting away the substandard product and taking them back into the market. We are trying to make sure that these products don't get into the market by sealing the place for further test. But we are going back to unseal and getting those products, into the society, which is going to be injurious to the larger society. So basically what has happened today is the fact that two of them were caught, the welder and maybe I think the owner of the warehouse, and they have been charged appropriately. The court has adjourned for trial. Maybe before the date of trial, the bail application will be heard, if necessary. Then thereafter, we go into trial, we call our witnesses, and we should round up the case in good time.
Hello and nice to have you on the feedback segment of the program. I am Halimot Osifo. Have you heard of life-endangering products? Yes, life-endangering products. Today, liquefied petroleum gas, LPG cylinder, is used in many Nigerian homes. But did you know, fake and substandard LPG cylinder plus poor handling have led to cylinder explosions, leading to loss of lives or causing severe burns. Behind every wall at home, in an office, or a building in general, there are cables that channel electricity for daily consumption. If these electric cables are not of good quality, it could result in a domestic fire outbreak, posing great danger to lives and property. Just as poor brake pads could place you and your passengers in danger, the campaign against fairly used, substandard and expired tires is significant to the prevention of road accidents, which is life-threatening. Now, imagine what happens when substandard steel bars are used in building construction. Building collapse, which can be disastrous. LPG cylinder, electric cable, brake fluids and pads, tires, steel bars, solar panel, stabilizer, and more products have been classified as life-endangering products. Life-endangering products are high-risk products, as they pose a greater safety risk to consumers because of their nature. Such products requires you as a manufacturer or an importer to be mindful of the fact that the products can put not just one but many lives in great danger if defective. What about you, the consumer? Remember, life has no duplicates. Be vigilant and quality conscious when making a purchase and during usage. Standards Organization of Nigeria recognizes the need to stay safe. Hence, the agency will stop at nothing in protecting Nigerians from fake and substandard products especially life-endangering products. And that concludes this week's episode of the program Standard and You. For any question, complaints or suggestion, you can send in your messages to the number 0705972445. Follow us on Facebook at Standard and You, Instagram and Twitter at Standard and You _. Remember, we have a vibrant YouTube channel where you can watch previous episodes online at youtube.com/Standard and You. Don't just view, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, buy original, sell authentic, and use only the best. Bye for now.
Why you dey buy fake product, Make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live.
Buy original.
You should know